Really? Urza is scared of slivers. Couple of 5-mana commanders pitting it out against each other. The First Sliver versus Horde of Notions. We'll keep that. I'm remiss to throw away any hands that have multiple lands in them in a 5-colour deck. Plus we have Gemhide Sliver to generate some mana for us. Alright, let's see here. Unclaimed Territory. It doesn't enter tapped, so in that case let's go for Bloodstained Mire to start things off. I've already been over the First Sliver, but Horde of Notions is 5 mana in Wooburg for a 5/5 with Vigilance, Trample and Haste. It's an elemental and you can pay Wooburg to play an elemental from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. And they are just getting a couple of lands down and passing the turn. We've got green. Yeah, it's only green in the hand. So it's just relying on dumb luck, really, that we get into the right thing. Let's just go for Scrubland. We do have a black spell in hand. Alright, well there's another fetch. Yeah, let's go for the Gemhide Sliver, I think. Yeah, I don't think I care about getting a plus counter on Gemhide Sliver, so let's just go for that. And we'll see if they have any counter magic for us. Nope, apparently not. Gemhide Sliver will make our slivers tap for a mana of any colour. So that puts us on 4 mana next turn, and then Chromatic Lantern. We're on to Wooburg. I think it might be Chromatic Lantern into Steely Resolve next turn. Creatures of the chosen type have Shroud, and that's only 2 mana. So really good in any tribal decks where you can fit green in there. And there's a Garruk, Wild Speaker, so they can untap their Ancient Tomb if they want to, but they just go for generating a beast token. Toxic Deluge we're not going to take advantage of. Name Sliver. Off of the Unclaimed Territory. This taps for colourless, or a colour of any type for the chosen creature. We'll get the Lantern down, and then go for that Steely Resolve that we mentioned. And we'll name Sliver again. And therefore our slivers have Shroud. So that should really help protect them against spot removal. Now I think we're going in for the First Sliver. Or do we want to go for Metallic Mimic first? A Phyrexian Arena for our opponent, so they're aiming to get some card draw going. And then what is that? That is a Matka Rioters. Its power and toughness equal to the number of basic land types amongst lands you control. Yeah, I think we just go for our commander here. It'd be nice to get a plus counter on it with Metallic Mimic, but that's not imperative. We do Cascade with the First Sliver. Oh, and that gets us into lifelink, that's good. And obviously the more slivers we get into play, the more mana we generate as well. We'll just make a land drop and pass the turn. Some haste would be really good, so that we could get down some slivers and then tap them for mana immediately. Getting down Urborg, so that's our black mana sorted. Although we have all the coloured mana we need thanks to Chromatic Lantern. Oh, and a Consecrated Sphinx. Yeah, that's not good to see. And I didn't put a stop on the upkeep quickly enough. That's unfortunate. When you F6 it just zooms through the entire turn. That's the whole point in F6, is that you can pass through the turns really quickly. Definitely would have gone for Assassin's Trophy there during the upkeep before we draw. Because whenever we draw a card, the Consecrated Sphinx will draw our opponent a couple of cards. Let's just go for the trophy now, just in case they draw into some counter magic off of the Consecrated Sphinx. They did have 2 blue held up, but clearly they didn't have counter magic. They're going for a snow-covered forest and draw a couple of cards off of that. We do get into one of our haste creatures, so how about we go for the Metallic Mimic and the Blur Sliver, although I actually prefer Hibernation Sliver because it's protection from board wipes. Yeah, so we'll go for that. That will Cascade. Okay, there's Evasion with the Gale Rider Sliver. There aren't many 1-drops that we can cascade into. So this probably just goes into Mana Crypt. Yeah, I don't know if there's many 0 mana spells that it can cascade into either. But that does mean that we can go for the Metallic Mimic as well, so that was pretty lucky on our part. Name Sliver off of the Metallic Mimic. And then we'll get down a Blur Sliver, that will cascade as well. Take us into Nature's Law. And Nature's Law can just go for Tropical Island, don't really mind. And now we have Evasion, so let's go First Sliver at our opponent. Hibernation and Metallic at Garrick. And then the Gale Rider and Blur at our opponent as well. Our opponent does have 4 cards in hand, so they might have a Cyclonic Rift or something like that. But the more we can cast slivers, the more cascade we get into. So Cyclonic Rift isn't necessarily the best thing for them. We jump up to 44 because our slivers have lifelink, by the way. And the more life we gain, the better the Hibernation Sliver is, because this will allow us to pay 2 life and bounce a sliver back to our hand. And they are paying for the Ancient Tomb. But then, undoing it, deciding not to go for that. They really need a board wipe here. Although, even that won't necessarily help them because we do have haste. Alright, a Fact or Fiction, probably going after a Toxic Deluge. Let's see if they've got it in the top cards. Yeah, you can't target us with Sultai Charm. Let's just go for Elspeth in one pile. And they can attempt to blow up the board with that, but they would have to wait till next turn. And they're not going to make it through to their next turn because they're only at 8 life, so we just swing in with everything and take them down to 0. Good for our opponent though, they were playing to their outs. Definitely going for a Toxic Deluge there. I think they had Black and Ancient Tomb held up. Although, I don't think they could have wiped the board. Well, they could have taken us off every sliver, apart from the first sliver, and they could have chump blocked that. So yeah, that was definitely what they were going for. Unlucky for our opponent, but we got to show off slivers at least, and it's good to play against an opponent that actually plays it through to the end. So hopefully you all enjoyed that one. The First Sliver versus Horde of Notions. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.